Why swim coaches hate water polo coaches. And I want your opinions too. I have some opinions. I've been around swim coaches a lot, but I want to hear from you. Why do you think swim coaches hate water polo? And if you're a swim coach, I want to especially know your opinion. But here's go. I got three reasons why swim coaches hate water polo. The first one, they're threatened by the programs because they think that they're going to lose swimmers if there's a water polo program practicing right next to them. The swimmers are swimming up and down. It's kind of boring. They see water polo right next to them, and all of a sudden they want to jump ship and go play polo. So the swim coaches are threatened that they're going to lose swimmers. Okay? There's some validity to that one because water polo inherently is more fun than swimming. Sorry. You're in a pool and there's a ball. We have the advantage. But for the swim coaches, I would just say, I would challenge the swim coaches to really innovate and make your swim practices as fun as they possibly can be and as interesting and as original and all that stuff to compete. You have to compete. I can't help it that water polo is more fun inherently. All right. So first, they're threatened. Number two, and this is wrong. Swim coaches think that water polo will ruin your swimming stroke. And I've actually had swim coaches tell their swimmers not to play polo because it will mess up their swim stroke. I've had kids come to me, young kids, 10, 11, 12, and they'll say, I'll say, why don't you want to play polo? My swim coach told me it'll ruin my stroke. He said, don't do it. So you actually have a coach telling kids not to do another sport, threatening and scaring them, really. And that's terrible. You should never do that. It's not going to ruin their stroke. That's the thing. When you dribble with a water polo ball, you compartmentalize. It's a totally different thing than when you're swimming 500-yard freestyle. And I can prove it to you. Does dribbling a soccer ball ruin somebody for track and field? Has any track and field coach said, no, don't play soccer? That's going to mess up your running. You're not going to be able to run because you're dribbling with the soccer ball. It's going to mess up your running. No, because when you dribble with a soccer ball, you do it one way. And when you run track, you do it another way. Same thing. When you dribble with a water polo ball, you do it one way. And when you swim, you do it another way. So it's not going to ruin your stroke. It's not going to mess up your stroke. If anything, it'll help your sprint freestyle. That's number two. The third reason why I think swim coaches hate water polo is on water polo programs. This one's on us. We mess up the pools. So a lot of times we're messy. We'll leave the lane lines out. We'll screw up the lane lines. We'll leave the goals in. We just leave a mess. And it's a hassle for the swim team. Lane lines out, lane lines in, all this stuff. So that's on the polo programs. We as polo programs need to make it as easy as possible to coexist together with the swim teams. The easier we make it, the more they'll want us to be there or be okay with us being. Okay? So swim coaches are threatened that they're going to lose players and swimmers. They think that it's going to ruin their swimmer strokes, which it won't. And then the third one, water polo teams are sometimes messy and mess the pools up, and swim coaches get mad, rightly so. So that one's on us. So those are my three reasons why swim coaches hate water polo. They shouldn't hate water polo. We should be able to coexist beautifully. I've had great relationships with swim coaches that I've been on the deck with. And when there is that mutual respect for each other, it can be a very pleasant experience. I can pick their brain about swimming so that my players swim better. And they can allow their swimmers to have an outlet, maybe by letting them play polo once or twice a week. And if that prevents burnout, that's a great thing for everybody. More swimmers should be playing water polo. That's my thrust in getting across here today, is that I wish more great swimmers would play water polo. If you're being scared by a swim coach not to play water polo, that's not right of the swim coach, and you should try it out. So I'm open to your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Why swim coaches hate water polo. It's indisputable. We know they hate water polo. And I want to know why. Give me reasons. If I didn't cover one that you think is a valid reason, let me know. All right. I am going to cover 3-on-2s now. And if you want to talk to me about swim coaches while I'm doing that, just leave me a message while I diagram up 3-on-2 counters. I'm just going to go over a couple points. I just did a short on 3-on-2 counters. And I want to do a couple main points here. Where we end up when we're 3-on-2, you want to end up in a triangle. The key on any counterattack is spacing. So we have 3 offensive players and there's only 2 defensive players back. So if you get into a triangle, there's no way that 2 defensive players can guard all 3 of these offensive players if they're in this triangle formation. If this guy's spacing is poor and he's down here, let's say, then one defender can guard these 2, and one defender can guard this guy, and we're stymied. But if we're in our triangle, one guy will always be open. All right? So we're going to end up in our triangle. 2 people on either side of the goalposts around 3 meters out, and one person about 5 meters out. Sorry, I'm getting terrible feedback on my computer, and I don't know why. So please tell me if you guys are hearing that. I know one person said it's fine, so I want to make sure it's continuing to be fine because it's terrible on my end. It's very difficult, and I'm powering through. All right, so that's where we end up on the 3-on-2 in the triangle formation. So now I'm going to cover what I did on my short. We got 3 players and 2 defenders back. Now, when you're talking about what to do on a 3-on-2, it's all about what happens to the guy with the ball. So if this guy has the ball, we're looking at this guy with the ball and what the defense does. So today I'm just going to cover this guy right here with the ball. But even for the middle guy and the weak side, it all depends on what the defense does. So if this defender presses, so he comes up and he's on the ball, he presses the ball. We're going to want this middle guy to give a strong side release so we can pass the ball down the line. Then as soon as you pass it, you cut to the top of the triangle. Okay? Cut to the top of the triangle. So pass and cut to the top of the triangle. That's option 1 if the defense presses. If the defense hangs back and does not press, you're going to attack. Move this down so you can see a little bit better. You're going to attack. This guy's going to go weak side, post. This guy will be the top of the triangle. So, option 1, you get pressed, pass the ball down the line, and cut to the top of the triangle. Option 2, you don't get pressed. You attack down to the goal post about 3 meters out. The middle guy cuts over. This weak side guy forms the top of the triangle. Those are your 2 options. If you have the ball and you're on a 3-on-2, guy presses you, look for the release. Doesn't press you, attack down to the goalpost. We're trying to simplify this for you guys because remember, when you're on a counter, you have to make quick decisions with the ball. You can't hesitate. So we're trying to simplify this. Pressed down the line. Now remember, after you pass it down the line, you've got to cut hard to that top of the triangle. You can't just pass and stop. The last thing you need to do And last thing you want to do on a counterattack is pass and stop. You got to pass and go to the top of the triangle. You might be the one who's open. If you pass and stop, we'll never know. Okay? So pressed, pass, and go. If you're not pressed, then you just attack straight down to that goalpost. And I have that on my short that we just released if you want to look at it. I also have a skill sheet for my members. Don't forget, if you want some extra access to me and you want my skill sheets and you would like early access to the videos and priority replies from me, we have our memberships available. You can be a rookie or varsity. Take a look at our memberships. Just hit join. If you like our videos, please subscribe and like them. That helps me out a lot. And let me know what kind of videos you want to see. That also helps me out a lot. I am releasing all the 3-on-2 shorts are coming up over the next couple of weeks. They're on the person with the ball, then they're going to be on the middle guy, and then they're going to be on the weak side guy. So I'm going to cover all of them, and they're all going to be whether the ball's pressed or the ball's not pressed. It's all going to be really simple, trying to get you guys able to make quick, good decisions on the man up. All right, so I'm not able to do the Saturday, so this takes the place of our Saturday normal live show. I should be on next week, depending on my son's soccer schedule. Oh, you're welcome, John. I appreciate that. Thank you. John said, thank you for the basic tips. I appreciate that, John. I'm trying to simplify the game for you guys, and I'm trying to be an extra coach for people if they don't have a great coach or if they're not getting the kind of coaching attention that they deserve. So I'm happy to provide that for you. I appreciate the feedback. That means a lot to me. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for tonight. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Again, message me if you have questions or if you have a video that you want me to do. Please check out our memberships, and I will see you guys next week. Have a great one, guys. Bye.